Hi, guys. So, several interesting things, of course, occurred as I went to do this reading. So, first and foremost, let me flip my screen to show you the first one. I was listening to a subliminal frequency thing. I use those to like kickstart, jumpstart my magic, right? Uh, and also to tap into the frequency. So, imagine that these crowns are actual like radios, right? I'm tuning into the station of different things by using the frequencies. I was just, and excuse the jumping screen. I hate that because it keeps me frozen in stupid faces. So I was drawn to dream job subliminal, get the best interview and get hired. And I was like, why would I click this? Right? Because I love my job. This is amazing. But then I was like, why would I not click it? You never know what opportunity you could be like knocking out that could connect. I could use the same skill set doing something completely different, and I would have just knocked it out because it's not me sitting in front of this computer doing reads and stuff like that. I like helping people, and I like the fact that God gave me a gift that allows them to be helped in a way that I could never have ever imagined. I would do that everywhere, whatever the job is, right? So that made me click it. But then as I was sitting there, and I put on this clear my emotional body once in order to like funnel out to do this reading. I did that on my TV. It's actually still playing in the background over there. I layer them because you can tune two channels at once and do double the work. That's the power of having a dual working mind. Is that the term I want to use? My mind said buy something, but I know the second word. Buy something bilateral. Okay. You can do two things at once, which is probably important for somebody who has a heavy Gemini signature, like Michael, who is the focus of today's reading. So my mind suddenly said, hey, does he love his job? Is he doing something that's fulfilling his purpose? So I let it play in the background, and I thought I was going to hit record closer towards the middle of the video so it would still be playing back there and it would like help him in a subconscious way too, right? Note the 633 because isn't the birth time 336? Just take a note of that too, right? But when I went to go flip the camera, you guys might have noticed we were on this one, which is a Reiki video, a healing video, completely different from the subliminal one that I was just on for deep ingrained self esteem issues. Why did that happen? Because my computer and me were tuned to the vibration, the channel that is Michael and his chart. Freaking cool, right? One of the things that you wanted to discuss today was giving him a sense of, I guess I can talk to you like you, right, Michael? Like, hey, hi. I'm not going to talk to you like you're not in the video too, but I assumed you guys would possibly watch this together. Uh, a sense of identity, which is purposeful, like you feeling the way you do. Imagine carrying literally, and let me zoom in on this just so you can see the energy of Archangel Michael in your forefront. Whatever's in the first house is what you wear on your sleeve. It is what you are in the physical likeness of, right? Imagine that energy being what you're carrying. This is the right hand of God, the person in charge of keeping everything in God's kingdom in order, right? You have it retrograde. So how boring would that be all the time to have to be in charge, to have to be the leader, to have to know everything, to have to be awesome, just like all the time. And everybody expects everything of you all the time. But it's great because you know everything and you can just do everything. And that gets boring. It gets overwhelming. So, what did your particular fragment of Archangel Michael want? A lifetime without knowing who the fuck he was because it gets so annoying once he realizes how much duty and responsibility he has to take care of. So it was just nice for one moment to have yourself known to, in the 12th house of dissolution. This is the stuff that you can't see. It's very unclear here, right? To not know that you were carrying the fragment of the energy of like the king of the world. You just wanted a break for a little bit. So that's why your South Node, which is a remnant of your past, right? Shows that you are coming from the 12th house into the 6th house. The 6th house is the house to be of service. You have enjoyed for quite some time a muggle life, a regular life. You got to be a human. That helps you further find and appreciate and refine yourself. This was an emotional journey for you. So I'm already channeling from the chart, but I was supposed to do this other thing first. So let me go ahead and do that. I also, and I told you a couple interesting things happen here. I was sitting here, I was having one of my own moments trying to get ready for this video, right? Trying to amp myself up. Like, okay, we got something going on here. And I was like, hold on. I think I actually look better today. I don't know. Something's changing with my look. Like, yes, right? But then I was like, oh, I don't have my light on. It's because like I'm all backlit and it's angelic or whatever. It's doing like this halo thing. But then I was like, let me turn my light on as usual. And I went to go do this. And when I turned it on, I was like, so no, the problem is I'm usually under this light and it looked better today, this particular look, when I had the light off. And my mom was like, some things you can only see clearly when you're in the shadow. And I was like, am I already channeling from this chart? Not knowing who you were, what you are, what you were capable of, what you were building up to in this life gave you a chance to finally appreciate being the person that everybody comes to, being able to handle all the battles, being courageous, being strong, being a king, bottom line. And I just got the message right now that I need to add the king asteroid to your chart. I'm going to keep that in mind, but I'm going to do this pull first. Some things you don't need the light in your face for, you need the light behind you. Is that like the moon or something? I felt like that was a message. Whatever it was, I know Cherish will decode it. So your rising, your ascendant is what you wanted to grow into in this life. You are a Virgo rising, which is like a healer rising, a servant rising, someone working for the greater whole, right? At the ninth degree is the Sagittarius degree. That is taking you back to the house of father, the house ruled by Jupiter, the husband, expansion, growth, knowledge, the person who finds things through seeking, learns through their own experience, all the wisdom that is gained once you leave the household of your parents, right? That's what that ninth degree is. So you want it to be a guru for healing yourself, for being a servant, right? But it's only through teaching other people what you've already learned to do for yourself. You are taking a piece of Archangel Michael in this life, or you are a piece of Archangel Michael in this life, right? Learning to appreciate yourself through all the work it takes to heal, to return you back to your original glory, if you will, which is coming up. It will be activated sometime next year. I feel like around summer that you start moving back into that celestial version of yourself. No more playing it small is what I'm getting. You got to be in the crowd. It was really cute for you. You know that part in Aladdin where Princess Jasmine sneaks out of the house and has like on her whole thing just because she wanted to be amongst the people. Like, what do they do? What is our grandma like? That's what you've been doing in this piece. You've been taking surveillance for the whole, like, what is it to be human and what can I can contribute now that I've seen it up close and personal? So the North Node is who you're becoming, what you're rising into, an experienced servant, right? And it's a servant of the law of one, of whole, of unity. But your North Node is the compass that you take to get there. And for you, it's from going to somebody who is very logical, who is very grounded in this reality in your day-to-day life, to being swept away in the most beautiful way by a spiritual experience that you can only explain by telling everybody you know the different variations of what happened. I can relate, I understand. So who did Michael come here to grow into? Who did Michael come to grow into? That's crazy. Because what came up was queen. I said king, but my mind still feels like to be worthy of your queen. Can I tell you something really interesting? This is trippy. Guys, so flip around the screen. When I first put the chart together, there were other asteroids on here, and I saw where some of them went, but I'm like, oh, they're not really pertinent to what we are getting into today, so I removed them. The only one that I cared about seeing was the Michael one, right? From the time I tapped into that energy, right? Different stuff that popped up, and let's see if my search will show that I was just on here, right? These are from the day. It doesn't say today, but it was from today. So when I went to Jophiel, Jophiel is actually like Michael's wife, right? The counterpart angel that was created at the same time as him. They're called, let me just type it out. See that? They're called that word that I can't say, right? But her pair, her partner, is Michael. That popped up, right? So another name, and I didn't know this before today, was Dina. Another name. Never knew that before.
My mom is a veteran and she was injured in the
Sorry,
line.
let me mute that for a minute. It's going on to self-love and confidence, by the way. So this is all just coded in the background for what you needed to know. So I have this tab that I save across the top. You can see the scissors one. Is it gonna? Here we go. So the maiden, the mother, and the crone is a triple formation of the Queen of Heaven. It's Diana, right? But Dina, it's like because it's a Queen of Heaven, the Queen of the Moon, goddess of the moon, right? It goes through phases. Diana, Diana, and Dina. So pretty much what this said to me in this moment goes along with like this whole storyline I've been hearing over the last couple of days, right? Just pretty much that Michael ain't know who he was before he got down here, and having a wife and being in a relationship really taught him a lot. He didn't know he had this Jekyll Hyde thing going on with this Gemini energy, or that his light self would have to densify into his darker self in order to balance out here. So a lot of lifetimes have been going back and forth now, fighting between an internal twin and sometimes people who are external twins, like their version of that, and other people just to get him to integrate his light self and his shadow self. But some things are better seen in the dark. Like you can't see them for what they are, how naturally beautiful they are without the darkness. Like me turning on the light in this case did not make this any better. It looked better as it was. Like the soul of Michael wants to know all versions, all forms, all sides of self. Like, what am I capable of? Who is in here? And that's my alarm going off. Sorry. So the thing that really got me, tried to cut back on anyway, was one of the asteroids I had in here was Diana when I went to go start. And I was like, he's not Diana. Why would that be there? And then my mom was like, if a person is seeking another person, if that's who they came here looking for, they will make it so that their their character is interchangeable with their energy, like two becoming one. Like there is no division in his mind, even though his Michael is in first. In his mind, his character, his body, his soul, his physical essence is always paired with his queen. So despite what has happened in the other lifetimes, once he started merging these two things together, and I can see that he is merging because look, the fifth degree is his son, his actual character. Anything else that's at the same degree bleeds into that same channel. So we have the sun at the fifth degree. We have his MC, which is what he's known as, and Gemini at the fifth degree. And then we have Uranus, the planet of radical change, the thing that is the flipper in there at the fifth degree. This means at some point, and it looks like there were some restrictions in his childhood that kicked off. There were some restrictions in your childhood that kicked off around 4.5. I keep talking like I'm talking to Cherish because I'm used to doing her videos. But there were some restrictions that happened in there that changed you from this free flowing, possibly very panish, crazy, out of control, free spirited child to one that had to be more shut down, more sacrificial of their energy. It's like a dynamic change in the house. It could have been something with the father figure happened here, but some sort of restriction took place, but that changed your character and activated that second part. The significance of your human in this particular Michael is you were trying to merge both in one body. That's why you don't have an external twin. Half of your ego is in your 12th house, the house of dissolution. You wanted to take all of that on your sleeve and then learn how to manage both sides of that. You see how you have Aries in eighth? Aries energy anywhere in the chart is who you are, yourself, your totality of this ego character, right? With you having it in the eighth house, that's in your shadow. That's the dark house. That's the house of the things that are hidden to us and we discover over time, right? You have that ruling your Jupiter. So you knowing who you are as a husband or the significance of you becoming a husband, how it changes you for the better was something that was hidden, had to be found over time because it looks like at one point because of that eighth degree lining up with this eighth degree, you were drawing in Jezebels. You were drawing in women who were bringing out the worst parts of you. But this is all leading up to you realizing you are your best self when you are in a connection, when you have your partner, when you have your soulmate. Otherwise, you were just going to be gone in the wind, running in the breeze, trying to retrieve that little boy part of yourself that got shut down at 4.5 years old. You've been holding on to a personality, a part of yourself that wasn't even like technically you, the person that you had to be versus who you were really inside for the sake of duty. And you've been doing that like your whole life. Like 4 is a long, long time. So to know that you were rising back up to your queen is something that's significant lets me know automatically you're just a lover boy anyway. Because why would your soul put that in here trying to get brownie points? So the next part is teacher, which is interesting because Gemini rules teachers and Virgo rules teachers. Both of those control your career house and your first house. So learning everything you can about yourself, but then some stuff is not going to be about you. You're going to be learning stuff about different religions, different languages. You might even start learning different languages. Sleep is not going to be something that is a friend of yours just because you're always like in the verse. I'm just going to call it the verse. You're always in the universe. Something is always coming through you. And that's going to be because you are a mediator and a networker for the Most High. Cut that off back there. For the Most High. You are delivering messages. You are taking from above or below, wherever your message come from at that time, whatever you need to know, because sometimes you got to check the shadow ground to see what's happening down there, right? You are taking those energies and you are sharing with other people. You are teaching. You're also going to be out in the wilderness for some reason. I don't know what y'all got going on. Maybe like gardening, but this is the wilderness and this is storytelling. I'm getting like spiritual retreats and stuff. Even if you end up hosting your own, but you'll start off with other people's because this is your goal for you to understand the importance of what you do. And you will see that reflected back to you through the people that you end up helping and how their lives would have been different if you had never stood up and gotten to your position. Like you might have been doing one thing before, but it holds no candle, no flame to how in purpose you feel once you step into the part of you that balances out your spouse. Y'all do something artistic together, sort of psychic together. You get to talk all the time. You get to teach. You get to be in your purpose, which is what it feels like is missing here. You didn't want to know who you were so that you could start to appreciate you, but you only wanted that to change when you were prepared to take on that weight. You are 36. This is your North Node return that is coming up. Yeah, let me pull these transits up. When your North Node, and this goes backwards, it's like the developer of the chart, what brings everything into fruition. This goes backwards and this one comes down. You are approaching a return. This is an opportunity for you to step back into the path that you were meant to take. The first time it came around, you were about 18 and a half, 19. So whatever happened there will sort of be a ripple of what you're meant to do this time. Sometimes you double the road and you end up waiting until 36, or sometimes some people 55, 56, right? Because you wanted to appreciate the human experience before the soul started seeping back in. Because when you get up there, you get sort of bored with what you do. You have your principle. That's what you do. That's what you do all the time. If you don't understand this, Star Wars would be the perfect example for this. Like they can't have love. They can't. And that's really important because Michael could not have a spouse up there. They were just teammates. They were twins. Only through the experiences that came along, like as the Greek gods and stuff, were they able to start discovering, oh my goodness, so this is love outside of self, outside of creation, seen through the eyes of somebody else. And that sort of became his jam. There's a whole lore there. So we are ending It's going to be 3:33 on the clock, which is significant because that is actually, I'm just finding out, the angel signature number of Archangel Michael. I see 333 all the time. And I'm like, what is that about? This is freaking weird. Like, how is that the number? But it is. So you have been asleep to yourself so that when you became yourself again, you did not get tired or sick of yourself. And in this way, I'm feeling like a mix of like Gaston, but like Superman. You know how Superman is sort of like, I just want to be Clark. That's the energy that I'm getting here. It's probably significant because aren't y'all sort of on like a farmish type thing? But that's what's happening here. Superman is not really interested in that. The same way Peter Parker isn't really interested in like Spider-Man stuff. He does it because he has to. But you didn't understand like why you had to. That time is coming. Have a good day.